Okay, so I camped out of another vehicle and I figured I would just show y'all the setup. It's a Jeep Compass, which you'll see in a second. It's essentially the same as the Grand Cherokee that I was in recently, but a little bit different. So like, whatever, I'll just show it to y'all. Also, it's really hot out here, like unreasonably hot. So I'll try to get this done quickly, but you know how that goes with me, probably not, but it's a thought, you know, just know that like I did think about it. So here it is, 2009 Jeep Compass. This is what I was in, lived out of it for a minute. It did pretty well. I'll show you the inside right now. But just real quick, because I know some people are gonna ask about the van. Basically, I'm still in a phase of testing out, like, I'm gonna keep the van for now. That's the plan, right? We'll talk about that at some point. I don't know. Basically, I'm still on the hunt for like what would be my next option, even with the van. Basically, I'm just trying to say that this is an experiment, which is why I'm in all these different cars. The van is fine. So that's just a mini update on the van. Essentially, like there isn't one. The van is safe. The van is okay. So we'll do kind of like, I don't know, a tour, but I'll go less in depth of like the stuff that I have, I think. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I take that back. Future me, real quick, gonna interject because I was filming that last clip and I guess maybe like I covered the whole microphone and then there was wind. So it just like didn't work out. So I'm gonna say what I was saying, but also, can we just talk about the fact really quick that I like am editing this video and realized that like throughout the whole thing, like I had something on my eye the whole time and like didn't even notice. So I'm not gonna refilm it. So there's that. That's there. I don't know. But anyways, back to the original thought that I was trying to convey in the first clip or whatever. It was just, I was saying that like living in or out of a vehicle versus like camping in a vehicle, two completely different things. And I think that it's hard to put yourself in that position unless you've personally experienced it, which makes sense and it's totally fine. A common criticism I get though is that like, oh, you have too much stuff, which like cool, like everyone's entitled to their opinion. And maybe if you've done it or you're planning to do it, like you're not going to have as much stuff as I do. Like that's cool. I love that for you. However, let's just take a second, reel it in, and just realize the fact that like people have to work, people have hobbies, and vibes and aesthetics are important. Like those are the things that are going to keep you sane, you know, and well, and make money so you can live your life however you want to, even if it isn't a vehicle. So yeah, I don't know. I get it. I totally get it. Like sometimes things can be like, why do you have that? That's not a necessity. However, I would argue that things like work is maybe the more debatable one because it's like, okay, yeah, like you have to work. So like have a work bag or like whatever. But like hobbies and aesthetics, like I'm not saying bring everything that you desire into your vehicle because that's not realistic most of the time, at least not for me. However, like having some things that fall into those two categories, I would argue is a necessity because of the fact that that's what's you're gonna enjoy what you're doing. And yeah, I don't know. So there's that. That's basically what I was trying to say. I probably said it better in the first clip, but we're here now. Okay, so something that stands out about this car, if you know you know, is that the windows aren't tinted. So I didn't make window covers for this car, again, because it was just like a testing thing. I don't know if I'm gonna make it with this heat, but what I was saying is if you're going somewhere and you're kind of like unfamiliar with where you're going, you've never been, or even if you are familiar but it's like just not that kind of place, which is this is where it's kind of like you just gotta go off of experience and intuition. And I'm not saying that and like don't be dangerous, okay? Like I just have to preface this because like, oh, I'm gonna catch flack for this one. I didn't make window covers, and so I'm going to show you guys like how I covered my windows, but I'm prefacing it all because I hadn't been to where I was going before, but I knew enough about it and like the people I was going to be with and the setup and like the context of everything to know that like I personally felt like when I was leaving I was like I should have window covers, but like it should also be fine, like makeshift window covers, right? So like just don't do as I do what I say, have some window covers. But honestly, if we're being real, there's a lot of times, do you hear that? Isn't that cool? Hey, what's up? But yeah, just like have window covers, okay? But yeah, I just feel like sometimes if you feel comfortable and you know what you're doing, like it's not a necessity, but like I said, do as I say, not as I do, and just have window covers. But I'm going to show you what I used instead. On one window, I literally would just leave it cracked. Again, safety hazard if, but for this contextual situation, no, it wasn't an issue. So I just put this flannel up, and there's like a seat belt on right here where this goes, and I just like tied it around. So you like can't even see through the window, and you still get airflow. And then on this one, it's an actual like sunshade, is that what they're called? So on the front, like passenger and driver's side, why can't I speak? I used these sunshades that were already in the car. The front, as per usual, is this Ford window cover that I bought, and I bought a Ford one because that's the only one that was available at Walmart at the time, so it just kind of lives in every car now, even if it's not a Ford. This is the other sunshade. Don't worry, I'll open it up in a second. And then for this side, I just used my towel because it would be multi-purpose. Like, it would dry my towel out during the day, and then I would just cover it to sleep. And it's like a long towel, so I don't know. I mean, yeah, it doesn't cover the whole thing, but I wasn't around weird people, okay? So it was like fine. And then in the back, I just use my crash pad, and I would prop it up on, like, it's propped up on the seat and like at an angle, just so that it kind of covers this back window like as much as possible. There's like a little bit you can see through, but only if you're like really trying, you know what I'm saying? And then yes, it also has these two little windows like on either side that I just like didn't worry about. All right, I will open up the driver's side now. Oh, the window cover didn't fall. I've gotten pretty good at stabilizing it. So it's like that size, you know what I'm saying? The ones that are a pair. And I kind of just like, it doesn't clip in anywhere. It sits on the seat. This one does anyways. And with the visor, there's like a little slit in here. I just kind of slide that in there. And bam, you got a lot of privacy. Not the best, but not the worst. So let's get in here. Normally, I'll just shove that up there in order to then enter the vehicle. Oh, by the way, for the vibes, what was I telling you? Important, you got to prioritize some things. Okay, this car also doesn't have AC, so there's this DC connector fan, which was clutch. Ooh, look at this guy. Hi. So anyway, sorry, I didn't really clean up after I got out of here, but I have my drinks in the drink station, obviously. It's a nice shower sponge, because I don't know, I don't want to explain that, but it's cool. Anyways, when I would use it and need it to dry, stick it up there. Perfect. Then I have my water, which is kind of a change up. I didn't used to keep it in front. I would keep it in the back in the other vehicle, and it kind of, yeah, sucks because like the sun hits the window and it gets really hot. But basically I just, oh yeah, these are like Avengers too, so that's cool. Those aren't mine though, so I'm not that awesome. However, what I was saying about the water, usually I like to keep it somewhere where it's going to stay a little bit more away from the heat. In this car though, where I would normally keep the water, this is smaller than stuff I've worked with recently, so this is what ended up working out. Just a personal recommendation, sorry, I'm like dripping in sweat, but personal recommendation, always have at least like 4 gallons of water on you. I think that's just proven to be like a really good number. This is also too like where I would keep my glasses so they didn't get lost. And more vibes. Okay, so I went to Taos with one of my friends. We were just driving, and there was this lady who was like bundling her own sage, and it was for free. She had a sign that said free sage as she was sitting there on the street wrapping this up, and we were like, yo, can we have 2, because that is awesome. And then over here in this middle, this is my pillow. It's low-key just a sweater, but like bear with me. I have a souvenir stack going on right here. So water, more little extra water. Here's my Jackery for this endeavor. I only brought like my small one. It did well. I guess let's go to the other side. Okay, so driver's side, that one usually falls because this one I rest on the window, whatever. I rest it there, so when I open the door sometimes it falls. It's no big deal. So what else do we got over here? None of that stuff is mine. But oh, actually, do we talk about this? I think we briefly have to talk about this. What's going on here? So it looks like trash, right? Nay, it is not. Also, here's the other window cover. I like that it has the Hulk on it because he's green, and so I feel like it adds like everyone else is pretty red. Bro, like, come on, let's have some color. So it's nice. So yes, technically this is trash, but like when I have something like this, I like to keep a bottle and a little, like, I don't know, I feel like these are such a good size. It's like a little bucket, and you know, to then pour whatever you put in the bucket into here to dispose of later, you know what I'm saying? Like, can you guys see that I'm like dripping? Because this is kind of embarrassing, but we're gonna keep going. Anyways though, do you get what I'm getting at here with this little contraption? I used to use a Folgers can, like the plastic ones. It's to go to the bathroom, okay? Like in emergencies, because like where I was, like I had access to a relatively clean restroom. I was very grateful. It was actually really nice. It was like good for what it was, okay? But you just never want to be unprepared. So that's what's going on here. And to just be clear, because this is cardboard, like the ramen cup, I don't like reuse it. Okay, so like it's basically once I eat ramen or something in a container that is like good for the things, I will just save it in case I need to use it. And then once it's used, it's gone. And then I'll just eat something else that has a good size container. Okay, so y'all know me, buckets, bins, bags, that's how we roll. So there's that. It's got what I just showed you, just like this rope that is super useful for random things, but it is super useful. And I have my coffee cup because I make coffee every morning, and cleaning supplies like dish soap, sponge, laundry detergent, and then down there is a bin of kitchen stuff, cutting board, pots, pans that I don't use all that often, but good to have, because like then you can also lend stuff out to people, which happened recently. I had to get my cutting board and an extra pan, and I was like, yeah, I have stuff, awesome. And then paper towels live right there. So that's pretty much it for the front. And then I was telling y'all about how I wasn't a super big fan of putting the water in the front seat because of the sun and it getting like blah, 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 blah. But basically I feel like when I put this window cover here, it does a pretty good job of keeping things like okay. Yeah, not ideal, but like it does a decent job. And then when I would drive, I would literally just lay it on top of everything like this, and it would keep stuff like decent temperature wise, I'm talking about. I hope that makes, yep, okay. And it's kind of a pain because I told y'all that I rest this on the what is this called, the handle for the window. Doesn't it have a name? It can't just be like the window handle. No. Anyways, what I'll do is, if I don't want to go around to the other side and put it up, is I'll take these paper towels that were in where I just showed you, stick them right there, and rest it on the paper towels, and it'll stay. I mean, I obviously have to like adjust it, but here, let me show you, because people are gonna be like, that's not gonna work. But bam, it works. Okay, so to the back we go. Well, actually, we're gonna come back around to the driver's side and go to the back, the one with the towel, right? Okay, so the difference between this and the Grand Cherokee is that the way the seats fold down, so what I did in both of them is like, you know how the seats will fold down, but then they like separate into like two parts, and one part is usually like two seats and then one seat. I leave the part with one seat up and then put the side with two seats down. The side with the two seats is usually my bed, and then the side with the one seat is what's going on right here. But basically the Cherokee has the one seat over there and the two seats over here, so everything was just kind of like reversed. And take a look at that, that's what I was showing you. So I'll just wrap the flannel around that seat belt and kind of cover the window, and it's done a little loosely. Like usually I'll do it from inside when I'm like sitting right there, and it'll be like a little bit tighter, but I did this one like before I closed the door because I just wanted to like show y'all. So anyway, so then also just a tiny bit different, there's quite a bit different, like little tiny differences between this and the way I set up the Cherokee. So like I had my water, how it's in here, it's in the front. In the Cherokee it was like down in this section, in here with the seats down and like the headrest and everything. Like maybe I could have taken them off, didn't have time for that, didn't want to worry about it, it's whatever, so I just switched it. But that's where they were before. And then in the Cherokee, in the front seat was like my entire kitchen and most of my food. However, in this car I just put the water up front and like a lot of the kitchen supplies, but like the kitchen supplies that I use the most I kind of like grouped in with like the bathroom, which is this seat right here. This is actually a lot of things. Okay, but of course it's all in one giant IKEA bag, because like that's the best way to organize, I promise. Okay, also coat rack type deal, flannels, jackets that I wear all of the time. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, this is like cooking stuff. This was something that was in my backpack that I was lugging around, and then I did something else, and so I had to make room for other stuff in the backpack and took it out and just leave it here. So essentially that is what this is. So yeah, this is my main pot and bowls. It's a silicone collapsible pot with metal on the bottom, because people are always like, how do you cook with that? But like, it's awesome. It's got my lighter and the stove handle and propane, and then just kind of like, I don't know, a dirty fork, an empty Gatorade bottle, and things that I don't feel like putting away. This container I will use to like wash my face, brush my teeth, wash dishes, pretty much anything that needs water. Oh, if it rained, and it did, I would just this would be nicer, but I would just roll this up into the window. Like low-key same with that. I didn't care. I would just roll up the windows, and these things would get wet, but I was like, bro, once it stops raining they're gonna dry, so like it's fine. So back to over here again, miscellaneous things that didn't fit in my backpack or I needed to like switch out or whatever. More very useful kitchen things, and yeah, miscellaneous and kitchen things. And I have like this cooler bag, but I didn't use cooler bag stuff in it. It's kind of like a work bag. It's all the stuff that I use to film. And then this clear bag, as usual, is like my bathroom stuff. And then underneath here, in all of this, we've got two more IKEA bags. And of course this goes in the bathroom bag, but I wasn't using it too much, so I just kind of set it down there. But in here is just like extra warm gear. Like, let me pull out like one thing. Oh, perfect. Okay, like a hat, right? And then there's extra sweaters and flannels and layers of sweatpants that maybe I wouldn't necessarily wear as like an outfit, but it's good for sleeping or if just like it's really cold or you run out of clothes. So there's that. And then dirty clothes in this bag. They just live right there. All right, sweat check. This is real. Now we are on the back side of the passenger side. Back side of the passenger side. I don't know what the... Okay, so let's just... All right, so let us begin. Nothing in the door. Well, there's stuff in there that's not mine, but it was useful. I mean, I didn't use it, but it'd be useful. I have a screwdriver. I have my groceries down here in a bin and a bag. And then for whatever crazy reason, I didn't bring any rain gear on this trip, so ended up with a poncho that just kind of lived there because I never knew when I was going to need it. Needed it quite a bit. This is my work bag, and what I was showing you was under there is where all those extra clothes are. So another quick difference is my stove. My stove in the Cherokee lived up front with all that kitchen stuff, which was easy to get to in that vehicle. Man, I'm getting eaten by like mosquitoes too. This is not okay. But yeah, basically for this trip, I kind of like drove somewhere and then knew I wasn't gonna drive somewhere for quite a while versus the Cherokee. I was like in and out of the car driving it every single day. Like this trip was more of like I posted up, so because of that it was just a lot easier for me to put the stove, excuse me, but it was just a lot easier to put the stove in the back. And then honestly sometimes, oh no, I'm not even gonna tell you, it's fine, so I keep some things to myself, but you know, just do what you gotta do when you live in a car. It'll be fine, you'll be fine. However, yeah, I just kept the stove there and we'll just continue on. All right, whatever. I just realized like the back of my camera, I have one of those covers that has the 3 pieces, like the tempered glass for the camera. One of them's like broken, so now I feel like maybe this whole thing's gonna be like hazy, but we're here now, we're too far gone. So as I said, work bag, dirty clothes. These are clothes that I wear, like this is something I need quite consistently. These are clothes that maybe I've worn once or twice, but they're still good to rewear, so I'll just keep them there because I don't want them with my clean clothes, but I don't want them with my dirty clothes, so they live in the middle. That makes sense, huh? And then a bathing suit that just kind of like once it's dry floats around. I feel like you can totally see like a little glare type thing from it, but sorry guys, is what it is. Okay, so from the back, this is like this is where I would sleep, in this middle space between, like, yeah, like at first I was like, oh, I'll leave the stove here during the day and like move it at night, and then honestly I just kind of like fit right there and it was fine, so I just like left the stove. Whatever. So this is, yeah, where I would sleep. This is the blanket that I would use. I didn't have access to my sleeping bag because I didn't stop by my van, but it's fine, it's fine, I made do, you know. So I had this blanket. It is a really thick blanket. The only bad thing about it is it retains moisture quite a bit. I did actually have a second blanket in here, but I just took it out and I really don't feel like getting it. So this one kind of like retained moisture. The other one was more of like that soft, I don't know if it's like fleece or whatever, but it's like, you know, just like a basic throw blanket, but like a big one that you would get like at Walmart or Target or whatever. It's that material, like soft, cozy material. Not actually, I don't prefer to sleep with those kind of blankets. I like a more smooth and not soft material, but I was glad that I brought that blanket because that one didn't retain moisture from like all the condensation and humidity and blah 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 blah. So I would just kind of like use that one to cover myself, and then when I was cold I would put this other one on top of it, or like, yeah, because I would like push it off to the side, and then like if I really needed it, just kind of like put it over me, and honestly very comfortable. All right, so we're still back here for just a little bit longer because I just wanted to show you that I have my crash pad, my climbing bag, and my clothes right here, and then there's some shoes over there. A lot of the times what I'll do is take the crash pad out and put it in the front seat or leave it outside depending on where I'm at. And this is what I was talking about with like hobbies and stuff. It's like I totally get it, a crash pad is huge. Like if you don't need it, don't have it, but like if you do need it, have it. You know, so it's here, it's a necessity. And also it was kind of cool because what I did is I just used it as a window cover for that back window. I propped it up on this headrest and then kind of would slide it at an angle over here, and my feet just like fit in there, and it's like, well, what else do I really need to put back there? Nothing. So it's fine, it works, it's wonderful and totally comfortable. And of course for the vibes, I've shown you guys this before, but also can you like, with the heat, this is what I was talking about, like my other stuff. Look at this, look at this. At least now I know how it like works and stuff, and it still is good. Like I can still turn this on and the candle still like works. I just have to like do that. But anyways, that just happened because like the heat and the glue, and like, bro, are you serious? And I have this little, like, isn't this cute? And I just put like hair clips in it, or like random things that I need to, I'll fix that in a second. And then put that on top so they don't go anywhere. Situate it nice and cozy in that corner. Is it a corner? I don't know, whatever that little nook is. And the clothes and the blanket kind of just keep it in place. All right, so last but not least, the back. I already told you what's back here. Clothes, which you've seen before, so we don't need to like go over that. Climbing bag with all the stuff, shoes, chalk, and many other things. Crash pad, and shoes just kind of slid in there. Oh, and a harness, because like I said, important things. Oh, and then I feel like, okay, just because I mentioned that this is my pillow, so the way this Jeep is, as I was saying, I've said quite a few times, but whatever, it's a little bit smaller than the Cherokee, which I mean we all know, but like I just have to like say it. Is that so when I would put my feet all the way there and come up here, I didn't quite fit like where the seat ends, and so what I did is I had my work bag that was here, and I just kind of do that, and then I would fold this up and put this like here, and I would sleep with my head here and my body there. And yeah, I mean, it fit. It being me, I fit. Okay, honestly, I think as far as the tour, that's really it. The last thing I'll add is just that in terms of like, since I'm trying to compare like these vehicles and like see what's what, yeah, Jeep Compass, loved you, grateful, not for me. Anything that size, too small at this point, mainly because like the way I was sleeping, and then I would like to store just like a little bit more stuff for a more long-term kind of endeavor. I forgot my trash can. My trash can is right here. Aquí. I love this thing. My sister got that for me as a Christmas present. Honestly, it's been clutch. And even though this is like how it technically goes, I kind of just, why do I keep not zooming out? I just kind of like throw it over there. Oh my gosh, okay, I left you guys on a tripod for like 2 seconds to grab my water bottle. It fell over and hit the button and held it down, and my phone started calling emergency services. Okay, I thought I was done, but last thing I think I promise. So, because I know I'm gonna get questions about the heat because I'm struggling right now. So it's like, okay, if you live in a car and it's that hot, that seems unrealistic. It's a lie, no, it's not. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna either go jump in a river, you're gonna find somewhere where you can couch surf, and not in like a mooching kind of way, like in like a realistic, like they're your friend, you got them, they've got you type deal, or like family or something. And if you don't have that, then you move. Like you take your car and you drive somewhere else to higher altitude. That's what you do. You chase the weather. And I realize that that's not like not everyone can just like leave because they don't work remote or whatever, but I'm just telling you like a realistic, like those are the options. You stay with someone, you stay cool as much as you can by jumping in bodies of water, or like going inside to like libraries or coffee shops and such, or you drive somewhere else. Like that's the name of the game. It's a sufferfest, yo. You're living in a car, but it's also like amazing. So don't let that deter you. Just like stay cool, okay? That's all.